Wait, what? What are you guys talking about?
Wow.
World of Warcraft.
I am in WoW. Dun dun dun.
3, 2, 1.
Prepare for battle, we're diving into a world unknown where legends begin. Jim, Christine, and Brian guiding the way. In Azeroth we'll conquer, there's no time to delay. Server restarted, we're ready to play. Join us now as we fight day after day. From dungeons to raids, we'll conquer it all. In the world of Warcraft, we'll never fall. Server restarted,
Welcome back to another episode of Server Restart In. It's a weekly World of Warcraft podcast hosted by three opinionated players who like to get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim. I'm joined by Kristen.
Hi.
And Brian. Turn the fucking eyes off.
Could you sound more excited about your intro?
That was-
Like, wow, that was just so.
That was the point.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh.
So it's been a few weeks.
Oh yeah, it hasn't it?
Things happen. It sucks. Life happens. That's great. We're back though. WoW's still here.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard you that
No.
Excited.
about WoW. Yeah.
Well, it's still kind of like there's all kinds of stuff coming out about 11.1. Like
when's
it's
that?
around the corner. We'll talk about it.
Well, here, let's just do like, I mean, most people have probably seen or heard something about it, right? So what's
I mean, I can probably
I
think
have
of one.
not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think of one
Hold
person
on.
that hasn't.
initial? Oh, really?
I don't know anything.
No, nothing at all.
Not a thing. No.
Fine.
That's
I mean,
not true.
no,
Jim,
nothing.
you know where the
Jim.
next raid is. You know
I
what,
do not.
You know the theme of it.
I do not.
Does she
We-
know the,
we've
does she
talked
know the
about it
primary
on this-
feature?
I do not remember.
Yes, we talked about it on this podcast.
No, I
and
know we did, but
She doesn't
yeah, but-
remember.
I
anything.
don't remember.
Okay, so here, let's play an exercise. You and I, then she can just
What?
ABC her way out.
Oh.
Okay, ready?
Wow.
What is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like super excited for this patch based on everything that you know so far?
Oh.
Don't assume what it's going to be or things that are going to change or anything like that.
6.5, 7.
Damn, really?
I mean, it's just
You're always optimistic, though.
I know.
Dadgummit.
Why? What are you, Brian? Like a 2?
Like a 3. Like a
okay.
3.
I'm not at anything because I
Okay.
don't know anything about the fucking patch. So somebody please share with me.
it's undermined. It's undermined is the
Oh, the
big guy-
dwarven area, right?
except if dwarves were green, had no beards, and had pointy ears.
Wait, what?
Have no beards.
Undermine.
Oh,
Unless
oh,
they-
oh, the
Except for dwarves that have green skin, no beards, and pointy ears.
goblin area.
Yes,
I told you I don't remember anything.
I know.
But mines are where the dwarves are. So why would I not? Oh, are we getting Azurite armor again?
No.
Don't they go to the mines and find Azurite or something?
What? No, that's Siren Isle,
Oh.
which is an abandoned
I
Azurite
legitimately-
mine. You went there.
Yeah, but I didn't read anything. I just hit accept, went to the spot, and I didn't read anything. I don't care. I just wanted to get my fucking ring.
Power leveled a ring.
I did. I went the last
Because it was
week.
the last week. And
So I just went and did all the quests, and I was done. And I was like, okay, that's good.
What do you mean last week?
Like
every-
Monday,
every week, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Every week, you could get an item to upgrade the ring 3 levels, and it goes all the way to 658.
Yeah.
And this was the last week. And once you get it up to max level
You can
and do
fly
that
there.
quest, you get flight. You can do your flying there and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I just went on Tuesday and just did it all in one day. Because I
Gotcha.
needed the item levels because I had to finally get 2K in Mythic Plus, even though everybody is like at 3K now. But whatever.
Nobody is at 3K.
I know. Everybody's high though. And then there's me with my 2K. But I don't care because that's all I cared about was getting 2K. And I'm not happy about the 2850 or whatever you have to
And
get.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, that's coming in the next expansion. That's kind of
I don't like that very
we'll
much.
see. We'll see if they tune the
If they're gonna make
things
12s the new 10s
they're not making 12s the new 10s.
by
they're just
adding a mount for that, that's what they're doing though.
No, it's a new achievement.
Yes.
It's a special mount. It's not like
Yes.
the normal stuff. There'll still be the other mount, but this is like it's just like going one step further.
Yes, they're making them the new thing that you have to shoot for. They're making
I mean-
12s the new thing that you're shooting for instead of 10s. Like that's the whole point of that.
Yeah, and if you
It's
do that,
annoying.
I mean, it's a badge of honor type thing, isn't it? Like to be able to do that kind of content.
I mean,
You know, it's like
it's moving the goalposts from one spot.
it's
to
adding a
another.
goalpost. It's not moving it.
No, because people are going to. If you put that goalpost there, the community is going to expect that's where people are at.
There's a lot of people at that.
Okay, you're doing 12s?
I stopped playing keys for like a month and a half. If we had kept going and consistently did them, we probably could be doing 12.
I do not
I think
agree.
so because everybody would be geared up higher and it would, you'd have a lot more experience.
we were consistently doing stuff last season, and we were not.
That's because they hadn't figured out the tuning and stuff for it. I don't even know if season 4 of Dragonflight was when they had done like the squish and they changed the level stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Like it wasn't quite as refined or tuned or whatever as it is now. So, and there's probably going to be changes to it and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a wait and see.
I'm not excited.
Get excited.
No, you can't Dr. Stone me.
10 billion% get excited.
No,
10
10 billion% sure that is going to be an underwhelming thing for me.
Whatever. It's just another achievement with a mount.
Yeah,
So,
but it's an actually cool looking mount.
yeah, it kind of is. It's like it's a spider tank mount with a goblin face.
Yeah, it's.
Have you
an
seen it,
actually
Brian?
Cool looking mount,
Yeah, I think so.
which is why I'm salty because it's an actual.
Because it
cool
means you have
looking
to
mount.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Did you see the map they released for it?
The map for Undermine?
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
Cool.
Is it? It's just cool.
No, I mean, it's like a huge circle. It's when I think about the car, I'm
Right.
like, I'm just, and I like racing stuff too. Like, but I'm very much anti stuff like that in this game.
Yeah. I mean, because it's kind of straying from the high fantasy into more of like steampunk
I mean,
fantasy.
I'm about to say they have their own defined fantasy. I understand that, but it's just, I don't know.
But the drive
It's
doesn't count as a mount. Meaning, like when you get the car, it doesn't go towards like your mount count. So like, you also don't count. It's a vehicle
What car?
for the drive system, which is
Oh,
essentially
I don't know. What is that?
you get a car and you can do races and stuff in Undermine
Oh,
and stuff like that, and you get it when you finish the first chapter. It's moddable like the Zeppelin you get from doing delves, where you can get different parts and different colors and stuff like that. Apparently you can get passengers for it too.
that ride along with you,
I guess
so I can have a car with all my
Gobos.
gobos in it.
Was it
Your door.
Goon-
My
Goon-
gob hose.
the Goon Squad or whatever they call them?
Yeah.
But it's only in Undermine that it works, right? And it's a car, so it has like drift mechanics. So it doesn't turn. It's not a fast turner, but it also has. You can drive over water. If you're going fast enough, you can basically have water walking or drifting, water drifting.
That's
It's
interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. It doesn't work outside of Undermine. So like, and since it's not considered a mount, stuff like on a pale horse, like the Death Knight stuff that makes you faster on a mount, doesn't work with it. So everybody's on an even playing field for it. I swear to God, I saw some stuff where if you get run over by somebody in a car, like splats you.
Oh god.
What?
Now I know I kept seeing I guess they're doing raid testing. I kept seeing clips where there is a big one that shows up in the arena in the raid, and it comes in and it does like a drift spin or whatever. And if you're under it, it'll like just smush you.
Do you get bananas and stuff you can throw?
It's not Mario Kart.
Shame.
So I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. It's got like some race events and stuff like that. I don't know how it's gonna go. It's be interesting to see. It's just something they're trying. I don't know if it's just a gimmick for this patch and it's just not gonna be anything anywhere, if they're gonna just start adding like Mario Kart into the game.
I mean, have you played the PTR at all?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting if it actually had a way to map to like ground mounts in the future at some point. But
It would be really weird to be on the fucking sea turtle drifting.
not drifting. But you can imagine like you think of Dragonflight and how you can fly. Although it goes like you go down to 0, but like your mount, say you go 100%, but then you can kind of like what is it, Epona in Legend of Zelda for
Yeah, that's the
like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
The carrot system. You would get carrots and they would reload after you use them. That's basically what Dragonflight is to some extent. But like you just speed up, you get boosts for a little bit, then go back down. That would be interesting. Like
yeah, I don't know what's going on with it, as far as that is concerned, but it seems that...
I just when I think in my head, like of all the things that we could have put our effort into, I don't know, man. I get that they want to really derive original content for the goblins, what they do and what's so special about them and stuff like that. But this is one of those things that makes a very iconic place in lore a
goofy.
Not just goofy. I mean, it's goofy. That's goofy as expected. They've already built that up for a very long time. But,
underwhelming.
Like, no. Like it's more like a, what do they call that shit? Like it's more like you go in, you ride like a circus or something. I don't know. Like shit. There's a term for it. That's where you go in, you see all the things, and then you leave and never come back. Like, they do a lot of content like that in WoW, right? Where it's like, this is the content for, imagine 10.1, right? Where you go to that isle and then never go back. Shit like that. But now there's something that goes along with the patch that is very unique to it. And if it doesn't leave with it,
well,
they spent all that time and effort just for this one patch, which could be like 6 months or so.
Rather than making like evergreen content.
Well, I mean,
they're making just stuff that is you're only going to do it that one time.
But if they're trying it out to see if it's something worth proceeding with, now granted,
that's what I'm saying. I don't see where it would map to anything that would be tech. You know what I mean? Like,
no, okay. you think about it, and I don't know if this stuff is still going on. But you got the Kalimdor Cup and all that stuff that goes on for Dragon Racing. You have like races you can do. So if they're trying to find something that people are going to enjoy and constantly do, it might be something they put in like new racetracks in different areas of the world. and have like a Grand Prix. It's like Goblin NASCAR, man.
Does it fit though? Like dragon flying fit. Like
sure, but if it becomes a popular thing and the goblins realize that the other races kind of have an affinity for it and they can turn it in, they can make money with it, why wouldn't it expand? That's very goblin-esque, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess I'm just meant to hate something as soon as I hate it any slight bit. I don't know.
It feels weird to put something in it as a test or to try something out in the middle of an expansion. You know what I mean? Like, this is an 11-1 thing.
Well, there's so much, just looking at it, you watching a video about it and seeing how much is actually involved in implementing a feature like that. Like, oh, come on.
How much is involved in it, though? Because it's probably just dragon riding with some tweaks on it, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean,
if you think about it from a ground mount, it just seems like it's very much an involved system, and so I don't know. Is it going to be in the raid too? Are you going to be able to use something in the raid for it?
I don't know. That kind of like they did in the Emerald Dream raid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Maybe it'll just be really that much fun, and it'll be fun to go in and do that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Maybe. You be optimistic. I'll be pessimistic on this one.
Another thing we're getting with 11.1 is they're updating the swirly graphics for on the ground stuff to know where to stand. Essentially, it's going to have basically a very bright border, and the inside will be not as bright, so it's clearly defined as opposed to some of the ones now.
They need to stop making the same fucking color as the floor.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be.
That's terrible. That's it's difficult. That's artificial difficulty.
I don't know if that's ever been a reason.
What, difficulty?
No, if they've made it the same color as the floor, that is probably just bad design.
It's just, whoever is designing that stuff is an asshole.
Or a lot of times it glitches, everything glitches into the floor if it's too thin or something.
Oh, it'll be just below a rug or something like that and be yeah, that's annoying too. Yeah. They got to get the layer and stuff on there. But it's it's more clearly defined, so it'll make it a lot easier to not stand in shit. Theoretically.
I'll still stand in shit. Actually, that's not true. When we did Mythic Pluses the other night, who was it? Me and Zach weren't even on the list of avoidable damage taken because we just didn't stand in anything.
Brag about it.
Yeah, I was very proud of myself because that never happens. I got lucky. What else is there? Well,
there's the new raid. Gallywix is there.
Oh,
right.
okay.
He's the last boss of the raid. We talked about that.
We did.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
This
I was excited again.
Yes. Okay. It is potentially good, potentially bad. I don't know.
Oh, God.
So there will be a system in here that is going to be essentially a preview of a later system that's supposed to be coming out probably in the next expansion. There's going to be an ability. There's a quest where you get to rent an apartment. And I don't know if you have to pay to upkeep it or anything. I don't know anything about that. But there is speculation, and I don't know if it's out there yet or not, but that it's going to be basically a preview of what they're trying to do for housing, which I think is actually really smart. You put in a very small, limited subsection of the system that you're trying to do, and you get feedback organically that way.
Sure.
So that before you put it out, it's good because you're not waiting till the beta and all that stuff to try the feature out, you know.
The problem I have with WoW and their new housing system is they have historically not done real great with allowing you to put your own spin on their art design, right? So thinking about they just keep giving us recolors of sets rather than making it so we can dye our own, right?
Sure.
There's no dye system. So they want you to engage with things a certain way. And don't leave a lot of room for character expression, right? And I'm worried that that is going to carry over into housing as well. Now, I enjoy housing. I can't tell you, I'm not getting excited for housing because Blizzard has let me down in the past every single time I've gotten excited, so I'm not going to. But I want them to do it well because I am a proponent of robust housing system. I think you can reinvigorate your player base with a robust housing system. Now, probably not the top end raiders, you know, maybe some of them care about housing, but probably not all of them, right? But the casual people, you know, they're the people that, you know, that want to spend time in the game, that love building things. I love building things. That is when I can play a game and I like go into build mode, I love that. You know? It's awesome. So I'm concerned that Blizzard is going to do the safe thing with housing. They're going to invest just the minimum into it. They're not going to go above and beyond, and it's going to be like the garrisons. You can put this here. You can put this here. Oh, but you can there's 3 different colors of bedding for your one bed that you could put there. You know what I mean? Or, oh, maybe you can get a night elf type bed, or maybe you can get a orc type bed. And, oh, it's going to be gated behind a raid or something, right? You know, it's the drops are going to be, you know what I mean? Like, I do not hold any hope out for how, you know, there will, I don't know.
It's hard to say because there's not really anything out about it.
No.
Now, the whole thing with gear is that to make it dyeable, they probably have to rewrite the code for all of the gear because it's probably just not designed that way. Like, it's not, it doesn't have dye channels like other things, you know, like other games do and stuff like that. And it's just like,
how do they dye it when they do the assets?
they're hard coded. They design it in whatever system they use to design it. They make it all, and that's the asset. You know what I mean? Like they have their own tools. And
I'm sure there are, like, I don't know what you're actually quoting specifically, but there's like like when EverQuest had their dyeing system, they literally just put a you could put like an alpha channel of a color over something where it's like just changes the color of what you see behind it, essentially. And that's basically all they did with theirs. So like they could take so most of the primary colors just react to whatever color you have on that channel that's kind of slightly.
I know like Final Fantasy and Guild Wars 2
have multiple
the pieces of armors, they have different spots on it that apply to different pieces of the armor, and you pick a color and that's what shows up, right? And so, but WoW I don't think has that built in, and if they were going to do that, it would be a massive overhaul of, they would have to update every single wearable item.
But people have been doing dye channels and dyeing gear for years now. And if they would have done it earlier, it would have been less of a massive undertaking. So if you don't start,
Yeah,
if you never
but-
start, you're going to have a ridiculous amount of backlog, right?
They had a
So-
ridiculous amount of backlog when those types of games came out. When did Final Fantasy XIV come out? And when did Guild Wars 2 come out? Well, that had already been out for like a decade at that point.
Yeah.
So if they made a decision at that point probably not to implement that system because of the amount of work it was. And that was older WoW, right? It was different,
I mean,
you know.
but
and-
Well,
they
here, consider
also
this.
redid all of the zones for Cataclysm. So I mean, you know,
they didn't redo it. They made new ones. That's completely different.
They
That's like designing new
redesigned-
pieces of armor.
yeah, they redesigned the zones.
So there's a game called Pantheon something of the Fallen
Yeah.
that is I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a throwback to the like EverQuest and all that stuff. It's an MMO that's they're currently making. But the guy that's I don't know, CEO whatever is in charge, he had a short on YouTube talking about dying. Armor and stuff like that. And it's interesting because and I don't agree actually like let's dye all the things because I'll just make my own. Anyways, not the point. He said that like he opposes dyeing because they want to focus on the aesthetic of the armor set they're trying to create, and leaves I don't know. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember, but leave like a I don't know. Leave its mark on the history of the game, right? Kind of like you think about the tier 2 set for a paladin or something like that. And I guess that makes sense to a certain extent, but you know, when you like, and I know this is like going to be a huge disagreement, but I personally don't really like transmogging. I would prefer to have consistency in the looks of sets that allow me to wear, you know, just display the armor that I have, so it gives me some consistency in my progression arc, right?
So I will say that in terms of wanting to maintain the game, right, the integrity of the armor and blah blah blah, then why do recolors? If you want, you know what I mean?
This is a different game. There's not necessarily going to
okay.
be recolors. This isn't for
Okay.
WoW. This is for Pantheon of is it
right.
Pantheon
right.
of something. I know it's a new game coming out, and it's like old school
Yeah.
graphics, like
Okay.
2004 graphics. It looks like.
But then in terms of transmogging, here's the cool thing. You don't have to transmog if you don't want. You can for yourself keep that. You know what I mean? That progression for your character.
Well, yes and no, because they don't actually make armor sets consistent enough to have to build something.
Yeah, it's
that's-
like your leveling gear is going to be vastly different from dungeon gear that drops, which is going to be vastly different from.
Right. But I mean that's part of the you're stepping up, right? So it's like you are in your leveling gear.
Yeah,
right?
like
You've got
I
your
mean, no
full
one,
set
no
of
one, no one really enjoyed the way we looked in BC.
No,
Let's
nobody.
be real.
That's
Like,
what
it
I
was
mean.
terrible.
That's what I mean.
Like,
it was terrible. You looked like a
They're
Fruit Loop.
they're not consistent. Yeah, they're not consistent with their design in a way that would support something like that. Whereas like the old school games is like there was you know like armor mostly looked the same at some point. Like there was probably like 5 helms or 6 helms or something. I don't know. And dying just kind of allowed you to mix and match and customize the certain stuff to like to some extent. Like in Ultima Online, you couldn't dye armor like plate armor. Leather, you could only dye certain colors.
Mhm.
It was cloth that you could dye just
Sure.
about anything in the RGB graph, whatever that they
Which
had.
makes sense for
They-
the types of armor, right?
Yeah.
It makes it works with the game, the lore, the whatever, like the immersiveness. I don't know. And so like you could actually like mix and match and make a set out of the normal stuff, color it around, and you have slightly something different. You don't have a bunch of cookie cutter people walking around. So, but again, in those games, like they didn't focus on flashy armor. Like that's not what it was.
Yeah.
Like if you wore a plate, there was a certain amount of, like, there was one plate shell you could wear in Ultima, and there was like 4 or 5 different helms you could wear that were plate, and that was it.
So,
And so, like,
what do you mean in terms of, see, because from when you say in terms of consistency, right?
If you think
between sets, right? You mean like the sets would be able to go together? Like, so if you're walking around in your, explorer gear or whatever, the stuff you get from just doing quests and stuff, right? And then you step into dungeons and you have, your explorer gear stuff and you replace your pants, right? With the new dungeon stuff, right? Are you talking about trying to make that fit in with your quest stuff? Because then that just seems like you're just making the same sets.
I think what he's like, if you think
so I'm not arguing for this to be a thing.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like,
okay.
if you were to implement something like dyeing armor and stuff like that, like, it wouldn't work because there's not enough consistency.
I think
or maybe I've lost my point already. I'm not sure. But that's not what it is.
I think like what you're talking about is, like, if you look back at like the Middle Ages in our history, and you look at the different types of armors that different Europeans wore, they all looked kind of the same with minor variations on design, right? Your plate armor sets looked plate armor. Your leather armors were kind of the same. It wasn't until you got like super rich people that had like maybe like some fancy ornate stuff on there, but a lot of times it was just a piece of plate armor. Like the chest piece was like a curved piece thing. Sometimes maybe it was more curved or not, but like, so I think like in a world, you would want some consistency between the way things are designed. Whereas in WoW, every piece of armor from every different thing has like unique designs that are
because it's usually designed for like that area, right?
Right. They're taking areas like the Nerubian, like everything in the Nerubian should look the same because that culture should produce the armor the same. It shouldn't be, but it's not. Like you can get different pieces that are just vastly different, and or it's just like. But you would imagine that the Alliance and the Horde would just have there's like a basic way that you make things, and like that is like the general way that you make leather or that you make plate armor and stuff like that. But they added in so much specificity and so much uniqueness that it's just there's so much of it. It's like a sword's a sword. You know what I mean? It's like if you go and you look at classifications of swords from the Middle Ages and you find like a hand and a half sword across all different, cultures that had that kind of stuff, they're all pretty much the same because there's really only one good way to design a sword, that meets those requirements. Where, or it's like, but you get into WoW and it's like they make swords out of bones, they make swords out of spider legs, they make swords out of boar tusk. What? Foam. Yeah, you know what I mean?
They do.
And it's just like, but those, I mean, I get it. It's kind of trying to bring the flavor of all the different areas and stuff into the game, and it's like I get why WoW does it, but it also does lead to just so much stuff, and then it's like, I don't know, they've set precedents and they've probably made a decision that that's just what they're going to do. And then that's just it. And it sucks because, dye systems are good. You know what I mean? It's very customizable.
It's a nice way to express yourself.
And I don't that
see the drawback.
Well, you definitely could make some nasty sets look a hell of a lot better. And not sets. Your own transmog sets that would look like shit, and you could blend the color together a little bit to create something interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
But they set some sort of. I guarantee you they have some sort of design philosophy inside their company where it's just like, nope. We have artists, we're designing this stuff, we'll do recolors and stuff like that, but we're not doing it because we don't want to. And you know, it would be nice if somebody would ask them that and they would just come out and say, yeah, you know, we have kind of tossed the idea around, but we disregarded it for this. Maybe it's something we'll look at in the future. They go, well, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and at least then you know, and you're not sitting there going, man, I wish they would. Because it would be really cool if they would.
Communication would be nice.
I don't know if people even ask them that shit to the point where it in a way that, you know, that warrants a response.
Blizzard needs to listen to us.
Well, yeah. I mean, we need to be better about putting out stuff for them to listen to farm. You know, we need to put out episodes so that they can download them all in South Korea and run them through their AI to get ideas for the next game.
There we go. Okay. I don't know what any of that.
You turn that off.
Oh no, are you using your AI eyes?
Look
Your your AIs. Get it?
I don't want
Oh,
to. I don't want to be here
That
anymore.
was so bad. That was terrible.
Yeah,
I'll see myself out.
but no, I understand what you're saying, because you're thinking like, okay, cool, they're gonna give you a house that has X amount of nodes that you can put certain things on. Like on a wall, you can put pictures, or
I can put a
mirrors.
horde banner, or I can put a picture of Sylvanas, or
yes,
or the other lady's feet.
Xylotas feet. Yes.
Yeah, and I hope that it's not going to be that, and I hope that they're putting these apartments out there, or whatever, as part of this quest line to get some feedback for what works and what doesn't work, because who knows how that stuff is going to work in their game engine.
Let me
How
tell
involved is it going to be? Like, we haven't really got to that point yet.
If they made a robust housing system, that would make me come back to WoW. Like, 100%. And play it more than... I play Final Fantasy for that stuff, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I just don't...
You know?
I don't know that they would ever make something robust, because I don't know. Their philosophy for this game is just not aligned to anything like that ever.
No, it's just get things out and then move on to the next thing.
If they allow you to just put items in there, give you a blank slate and put whatever the hell you want in there, and then just have an array of items that you can get and or get crafted or farm from different places and stuff like that, farm recipes and make them yourself.
anything that you can transmog, you could pop into place.
That is like just armor and weapons, guy. I'm not sleeping on a bed. Hell, I'm not sleeping on a bed of swords.
I mean, you could stick a bunch of, you could load in all of your Death Knights and hang them on the wall.
Oh.
I mean, if I could load all my Death Knights into one place, it would break the game.
Yeah, probably.
It would implode. But I mean, if they give you a way to be like, cool, here you have like X number of types of tables to choose from, you can put a table down and then you can put stuff on the table. You know, plates. Like,
nope, you're gonna walk in. There's gonna be a gear and a spot, and you can unlock that.
Yeah,
and then you can unlock some.
Don't say that.
I don't want that to be the case.
They cannot think that that's gonna work, because that was the decoration system in Garrisons. Like, you got this whole thing. You can put a statue here, or you could put something here, and you could put this here, and then you can pick what plots you have and all that stuff. And it's just like, why?
Certainly, they are brighter than that, but I don't know.
Hopefully, they
kids
are
these days.
Yeah, kids these days.
I want them to be brighter than that.
I think everybody does, and I think that. But that's why I think that this little like room in this penthouse that you get from doing this quest, I think is a good idea, because even if this thing is not good, it serves as a litmus test for what they're doing, and they can learn from it well in advance of even putting the system out for the beta. You know what I mean? Because if they wait until the beta for the next expansion to even put it in front of players, they're fucked.
Yep.
Because that is the point of almost no return. Because if you get a system built that far in it, and then if you build it up that much that you're testing it that way, no. a small room, sure, you can try all kinds of things. You can see what the impact is on the resources of the game. You can see, you know, what is a limit of things that, you know, they can put in there. You know, is it, if they put too much in, is it going to just like crash their game? You know, all that kind of stuff. It's
They got history. I just sent you a picture of Dark Age of Camelot, and I remember, dude, the guy I served in the army with, he was playing it, and at the time, and that was like 2003, 2002 or 2003. And it was just, they have housing, and so games have done this already. Housing's already been a thing.
I know.
Like,
For years.
I know.
Years.
no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them. Like,
Yeah.
they have history to go on and learn from, and that's perfectly okay. Like, please do not try to create your own system. That's just going to piss people off.
Do what you do best. Steal from other games.
No. Reforge ideas.
Oh no, the best ideas are stolen.
Steal
So,
from other games, please.
That's already been said.
Steal
The
from
best
other games.
ideas
Just
are
don't-
stolen.
Just don't steal from Pokemon because they'll sue you.
Oh, yeah,
Pokemon.
Even though they already have the pet battle system.
Yeah.
Although when you capture something, you throw a box over it, not a round ball.
See, that's
what-
where Pal World fucked up.
Yeah. Even though throwing a ball at something really doesn't really seem like it should be a patented system, but whatever.
That's true. I throw like basketballs at like wild animals all the time.
Nintendo's gonna sue you.
Nah, I never caught one. They all die before I can capture them.
Oh.
That's what you get when trying to play basketball against ants.
Yeah.
Squish, 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 squish.
Squish, squish. I mean, ugh.
Yeah, that's that. I think that is the most
Mhm.
the thing that I'm looking forward to the most.
Housing.
Yeah.
Is in the next patch is that quest to see what they have done. If it even is related to that. I don't know if anybody's even done this quest.
It won't be.
People could just be making assumptions that, oh, they give you a penthouse
Is
in
it on?
Undermine.
Is it on the
I don't know.
PTR?
I don't know if it's in the PTR or not.
Might be worth downloading the PTR to. Is there a PTR up right now?
I think so. I really don't feel like doing it.
I probably won't do it either, so it's fine. Somebody let me
it's
know.
it's out there.
Because I probably won't do it.
There.
But I am curious.
I'll start the installation. Can't be that bad.
Can't be. Couldn't possibly.
Pokemon.
But yeah, it's that I think is the most interesting. Plus, I don't know. I think it's gonna be kind of hard because it feels like it's a hard left turn in the story. You know what I mean? It's like Siren Isle. Like, I really couldn't get into the lore behind it. Like, there's some shit there to do with the Valkyr, not Valkyr, but the fucking, what are the guys from Northrend? The big guys in Howling Fjord.
Yeah.
Vrykul.
And Storm.
The Vrykul.
Yeah, them.
Like, it's related to the Vrykul and all that stuff. I just really couldn't get behind it and shit like that. And so, like, I don't know if, like, there's, like, supposedly some kind of link to Belladar, the Crystal, and Hallowfell with, like, the Azurite and stuff like that, maybe, and stuff. So, but, like, to just all of a sudden, it's like, they kind of added some stuff in there where you're like, oh, the goblins are digging and trying to do something, and you hear that Gallywix is around, like, and they're trying to do something, and it's just like, it's not really, you know, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it's really connected. It feels very loosely connected. And maybe the story will just tie it right in and it won't be as bad. But it just doesn't feel as cohesive as it has in the past. It's like we beat the raid, and we do all that stuff. We liberate the Ashkahet and all that stuff.
Is that what we did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's just like Zaltath noped out. We got some issues with the ethereals because that's one of the bosses in there is like the ethereal, like the princess, whatever that you have to fight. Like she's talking to somebody as you walk up on her, and she's like, "Yeah, we're doing this, blah blah blah." So there's something going on there. Who's her boss? Don't know.
Oh, that's the portal one, right?
Yeah, with the port in the ring, and you have to like space them out. Yeah. It's stuff like that. So maybe we'll see ethereals. Maybe we'll get ethereals as a player race. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, did you see? Somebody did something. I watched something like a week or so ago about it. Like they had added stuff that was suggestive of customization models that are player raceable.
But was it for like ethereals?
For ethereals, yeah.
So wait, is it
should look it up.
ethereals? Or what were the ones in Shadowlands? Because you got the ones from like Consortium.
Well, they're different tribes or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
apparently these good ones that the one dude's part of that we talked to.
There's the one with the Void Elves.
Yeah,
there's the Void Elf guy. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
It'd be interesting. Interesting indeed.
Yeah. Other than that, Plunderstorm is back.
Plunderstorm.
Yay.
I mean, I like it. I like the new system. You earn plunder, and then you go to a plunder store, and you can buy what you want. So you don't have to worry about trying to like go up a rank to get to like the final thing. It's like you can just save up and buy the mounts and be done if that's what you were wanting. You know, you get what you want first, and then you can decide if you want to play anymore. They added trios back in because they weren't there initially when it launched. So
yeah,
that's actually nice that they made it that way where you can just buy what.
Yes, that's a lot better system for something like this. Instead, like I think maybe at the time they just like, oh, we'll just put in a rank system and it'll be fine. And people didn't like it, so they made a change to it. Because I mean, technically, it was a game mode that they were trying out, and they brought it back. So, you know, and like, there's some different skills and stuff like that. You know, you can pick where you drop instead of, you know, just it randomly putting you somewhere, or you can have it randomly pick a zone that you drop in. They added horses around the map that you can get on and ride instead of having to run everywhere. You know,
yeah, I saw that.
I don't know. It was really nice. I logged in and my guy was already in my Plunder Lord Finest and all that stuff because, like, I already have all that stuff. It remembered everything from the last time. I didn't have to rebuild my character. You know, they saved all the data. Like, I think like 75% of the stuff in the store I already have. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have that much to do because.
Oh, sure you do.
How dare
because you're so badass.
How dare you? But yeah, and stuff like that. So I don't know. It'd be nice if there was a different map. You know, or just a couple of maps.
Yeah. I wish there was. It's actually a really good map, though. I mean,
no.
The hills and the distance and everything, like, it works out really well. But
I think that they need to fix their sound because you can hear people fighting way far away. Like
the coin boss or the treasure boss,
the horde,
the pieces of 8 or whatever, dude.
Yeah,
fate. Pieces of fate or 8. I don't know, whatever. Fuck it. Jesus Christ.
Pieces of 8.
Yeah, you can hear him from like all the way across when you land in the horde camp.
Yeah.
So
a lot of that stuff is just the sound is a little bit louder. Like I'd like it to like be quieter the farther away. You know, like just some more like spatial.
Yeah, so you can creep around and.
Well,
it's
not even that. It's like when you hear somebody fighting, I was like, I don't want to hear somebody fighting that's like half the map away, because now that's kind of like, now I'm focused on that. Whereas if I hear them fighting away, but it sounds like it's distant, I go, okay. Like more sound cues, I think, would be nice. You know, I do like that you can access it through the retail. It's on the PvP tab.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in there and you can look at
while you're in the game?
while you're in retail. Yeah, you go to the PvP tab. You can look at the store and you can queue there. And when you queue, it takes you to the thing. When you leave the match, it puts you back in retail.
Oh.
Which I thought was pretty nice, because or you can do it from the character login screen. You can just go directly into it. You know what I mean? So you have two options to get into it. I think that's nice. I think it's a nice addition. I think Kristen's trying to log into Blunderstorm.
I am not.
Yar.
100% not doing that.
She totally is.
Not. I am not. I'm trying to import
EDF?
yes.
Talents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got going on? What? How did they find stuff in Cataclysm Classic PTR that has something to do with player housing?
They have
There's house decor.
Isn't most shit like shared?
It shares a lot of the same files, so maybe they didn't hide it in there. But so far, we're seeing stuff like there's house decor, which has a couple of flags like interior, exterior. It's got some modeled types, which have, it says none, M2, WMO. I don't know what any of that stuff means. You got themed, which are like folk, rugged, generic, opulent, which makes it sound like you're going to be able to have an item and change it. You have type none, floor, wall, ceiling, tabletop, which means you can put stuff on tables, which is good instead of having pre-made tables. Housing exterior, yep, it's going to have component themes, which it just says human, which means they'll probably have racially themed exterior stuff for houses. Permissions, add decor, change decor, move, and stuff like that. So, save house, edit layout. So it sounds, so it's sounding like they're gonna have quite a bit of stuff. There's like some door stuff. You can do doors. You can do, there's a door. So housing room components, you got door types, option types, which is cosmetic, doorway, wall, doorway. Types of housing room components, wall, floor, ceiling, stairs, pillar. Housing room flags, none, base room, which means, okay. So, I mean, it's sounding like maybe this is gonna be
legit, right?
not. Maybe
stop. No.
What I mean
Legit.
is maybe it's hard to tell from this, but it doesn't sound like it's gonna be simple Garrison type stuff, right? And I can't tell from this if this is gonna be similar to, like what Final Fantasies is. But if and I don't know how what they're gonna do with it and stuff. Then none of this stuff may be even correct, but that's pretty interesting, and that's not disheartening right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially if they allow you to get anything, any theme. You know, like, because I can't imagine, like, and how you're going to get stuff. Yeah, so, like, the summary is, so this is the Wowhead article, and their summary, like, a couple of bullet points, says player housing appears to be a fully customizable mode similar to WildStar or Final Fantasy XIV's housing.
Really?
That's the first reaction to some of this stuff from the Cataclysm PTR, right?
So WildStar, is a good start because I did some great
Yeah.
things in WildStar.
Yeah. It says players seem to have the ability to enter an edit mode where they can edit, move, remove, and save their decor around the house. Okay. Decor items are separated into many different categories, including if they can be placed inside or outside, on what surface, floors, walls, ceilings, and their size.
Oh, that's crappy. That's crappy.
Why?
That right there. Because if you have an item that you want to place on the floor instead of on a tabletop, but you can't because it's a tabletop item and you can't put it on the floor, that's crappy.
If you can take it, okay, calm down. What if you take a table and you can sink it into the floor and then put it on the tabletop? Because you do shit like that and don't.
If they have no item limits, then that's okay. But if they have an item limit, that takes up 2 spots where you could just have it on the floor and it could be just 1 spot.
Again,
so
this is just the start. This is a guess. It doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's options for doors, stairs, and pillars, and it says items can be locked by other players, and there are error messages for no plot, no rooms, no house. So this sounds like it's pretty customizable. So again, this is all data mine shit. This isn't guaranteed for anything like that. So we will see. And maybe they have multiple surfaces. You know what I mean? Because just because they have a list of surfaces,
I mean, I feel like
that doesn't mean that you
could
can't
make it so you don't have, or if you have something locked to outside. Well, what if you wanted to use an item from outside inside? What if you wanted to use an item like my house in Final Fantasy where I created an outside area and I wanted to put the tree with the swing in that area?
Well, here's the deal.
You know what I mean? But I can't because it's an outside-only item. But it is.
This is still in development. And if they get enough feedback for stuff like that, it sounds like all they have to do is change some database entries. And it fixes it, right?
I mean,
theoretically, we don't know. This is all circumspect. This is all guesstimation based on classic Cataclysm PTR stuff. So take it for what it's worth.
What is it worth?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not a lot if they're gonna,
Yeah, we don't know. But this is a lot more robust than it could be. You say, but when people start likening it to WildStar and Final Fantasy 14, that's kind of a good comparison.
Okay, but it also depends on, were those people doing anything good with their you know what I mean?
Okay,
or were they pushing the envelope with stuff, or were they just, oh, I get this item, I'm gonna place it down here. Oh, it's good. There's a difference.
Calm down.
No.
Calm down.
This is a subject that is near and dear to my heart.
I understand, but not everything can be what exactly you want.
Yeah.
So if it's close,
disagree.
If it's close,
disagree.
You know what? But here's the thing, right? If they get close to it, that doesn't mean that they can't make changes in the future. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like this sounds like a very good start to getting it right. A lot closer to the mark than they usually are with their systems. Right?
Yeah.
No, this is very much. There's a lot more in those little function name calls than I would have ever imagined, to be honest. Like, they're specifying pillars, stairs, ceiling, like.
Yeah, that sounds like you
housing
can
room component.
build rooms inside of rooms and section things off and
that's good.
And do the layout the way you want. Maybe you build the house from scratch. Who the fuck knows? Like, if you can build your house from scratch and you just get a big plot of land that's instanced to you and you can build your structure however you want it, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's better
Just
than
don't-
that's like
Don't put
Wildstar,
it in
right?
Skillethus because he'll stab it with a sword.
Well, he's locked away. He's
He
not
could do it
stabbing anything.
again. Well, he might be stabbing something.
Anyway. All right. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here.
What?
No.
Didn't we learn everything about the
We learned the
patch?
most important stuff, and we just covered something even more important than the stuff that's in the PTR
Yeah.
for the patch,
Yeah.
for the next patch. Don't know when the patch is coming out. Probably end of February, maybe early March. So we'll have some time to look into that. I want to do some research. I want to find some things on this stuff and maybe get the PTR finished downloading, see if that one quest is in there. That'd be interesting to do. You know, so here's hoping. So
Here's hoping.
I don't know. This kind of is like lighting a little bit of a fire, kind of been like looking forward to the next expansion. Maybe a little bit the next patch, just because if it has like a preview of this, it'd be interesting. But at least as far as placing items, like at least inside of a structure, because I have a feeling you wouldn't be able to do outside and all that stuff with it being like a penthouse in Undermine or whatever. But we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks everybody for listening. You check us out at serverrestartin.com, and we will catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.